Deep in the heart of the whispering woods, where the trees stretched high into the sky and the rivers hummed a soothing tune, lived a kind and gentle bear named Big Bear. He was the largest bear in the forest, with thick brown fur and warm golden eyes that sparkled like the sun. But despite his size, he had the softest heart. Big Bear had one best friend, Honey, a small, playful bee with bright yellow stripes and tiny wings that fluttered like the wind. Unlike most bears, Big Bear never stole honey from the beehives. Instead, he helped the bees by protecting their hives from hungry creatures and bad weather. In return, Honey and her family made sure Big Bear always had a little honeycomb to enjoy. Every morning, Big Bear and Honey would meet by the great oak tree. Honey would buzz around, telling Big Bear stories about the farthest corners of the forest, while Big Bear would listen with a warm smile, his deep chuckle shaking the leaves above. One day, as they were exploring near the sparkling stream, Honey suddenly stopped mid-air. She had heard something distant cry for help. Big Bear's ears twitched, and without hesitation, they rushed toward the sound. Deep in the woods, they found a little fox trapped under fallen branches, struggling to free itself. Big Bear's powerful paws made quick work of the branches, lifting them gently to avoid hurting the fox. Honey comforted the frightened creature, buzzing softly around its ears. "You're safe now," she said sweetly. The fox, grateful and teary-eyed, thanked them and promised to never forget their kindness. That night, as the stars twinkled above, Honey rested on Big Bear's nose. "You're the bravest bear I know," she whispered. Big Bear chuckled. "And you, little friend, have the biggest heart." Little did they know, their greatest adventure was yet to come. One evening, as the golden sun dipped behind the mountains, a strange feeling filled the air. The usual songs of the birds were silent, and the trees swayed uneasily. Big Bear and Honey sensed something was wrong. Suddenly, a deep growl echoed through the forest. From the shadows emerged a dark, slinking creature with glowing red eyes, the feared Shadow Wolf, a cunning predator who had been terrorizing the smaller animals. Honey gasped, and Big Bear stood tall, shielding her behind him. "Leave our forest alone," he said firmly, his deep voice rumbling like thunder. The Shadow Wolf grinned wickedly. "This forest belongs to no one. I will take what I want," he sneered, stepping closer. Honey knew Big Bear was strong, but the Shadow Wolf was fast and sly. She needed to think quickly. Flying up, she whispered into Big Bear's ear, "Trust me." Before Big Bear could ask, Honey darted toward the wolf's face, buzzing wildly around its eyes. The wolf snarled and snapped, but Honey was too quick. Meanwhile, Big Bear seized the moment with one powerful roar. He stomped the ground, sending a shockwave through the forest. The trees shook, and the wolf, startled and off balance, yelped as it tumbled backward into a muddy pit. The ground swallowed its paws, trapping it in place. Furious, the Shadow Wolf struggled, but it was stuck. The animals of the forest emerged from their hiding places, cheering for Big Bear and Honey. The fox they had once saved bravely stepped forward. "Leave now, Shadow Wolf. This forest stands together." Realizing he was outmatched, the wolf growled one last time before slinking away into the darkness, never to return. That night, under the twinkling stars, Big Bear and Honey sat by the great oak tree. "You were amazing today," Big Bear said, smiling. Honey grinned, resting on his nose. "And you, my big friend, are the bravest bear in the world." As the forest slept peacefully once more, Big Bear and Honey knew one thing for certain together: they could face anything.